Oh, and the other thing, which really surprised me, was that he suggested to come and visit me the next day with his keyboard. And that was something I didn't expect at all. So apparently he was really eager to do this, just as me. So yeah, that came as a surprise. And yeah, that was our first meeting. Oh, the whole thing was arranged by a mutual friend of ours who knew that we both wanted to make music, as in form a band. Right. So yes, the next day he came to visit me. I picked him up at the train station. I think it was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because it was still light out there. And we walked to my place, and I hardly remember anything from that day. Only that at one point, he was playing a simple melody to me on the keyboard, like really only 3 or 5 notes and a bass drone, which I think he said was either a copy or something inspired by Death and June, something from Death and June's The World That Summer album, because he was really into Death and June at the time, and that entire World Serpent nonsense. I probably shouldn't say that. Oh, it's true though anyway. But before we went to the graveyard, we went to a record fair. And I have no idea where that was. I think even back then I had no clue, because it was just tagging along. That happened a lot back then. But I remember exactly what I bought that day, namely Christian Death's The Wind Pissed Pictures, yes. The Wind Kissed Pictures. You know, the red one with the Ophelia painting on the cover? And I bought it from a guy who looked exactly like Peter Murphy. And he knew it. In fact, I'd seen him once or twice on the dance floor in the club. And he was doing the full Bela Lugosi's Dead routine, you know, as seen on Bauhaus's Shadow of Light videotape. I think it's on YouTube. You can look it up. I think Holger even knew him, or not, I don't know. But he was chatting to him as I was looking through the records he was selling. I think Holger asked him about how business was going that day or something like that. And I saw him putting that Christian Death record into one of his crates. And I was thinking, oh, nice, cool. That's what I was looking for. So I was hoping to find that at some point. When I heard him say, well, nobody's going to buy that crap here, I thought, yeah, well, I'm going to. It's still a good record. I mean, Velaby may be a tot cunt. I mean, he is. But it's still a good record. The lyrics are crap though, but the music's good. In fact, Believers of the Impure was actually my introduction to Christian Death. Rather late, I know. I had heard of Christian Death before, the name that is. I think I've seen it written somewhere. And I always thought that it was a guy, you know, hi, my name is Christian Death. Oh, stupid. So yeah, that was my introduction. Where was I? All right, okay, so after the record fair, we went to the graveyard to take photos. That was the main one in Frankfurt, the Hauptfriedhof, which is kind of ugly. And the trees are pretty, but that's it. And we didn't even have a plan. We just thought we'd walk around, and if we see something that's sort of acceptable, we just pose in front of it, and that's it. Which is what we did. And the first picture we took actually turned out to be the best one of the 4 pictures that turned out. The rest were all crap. And that first picture was the one where we stood between those 3 white crosses, you know, with that statue in the background and that huge cross. Oh, actually, we took 2 photos on that grave because Holger really wanted to do one that looked like the cover of a Death in June album. So we were facing with our backs towards the camera. And it ended up looking like 2 guys pissing on a grave. It was so bad. Which is funny now. Now I would totally use it, you know, for shits and giggles. But sadly, I don't have it anymore. Well, it wasn't funny back then. Yeah, that's it for the photos. That's all I can tell you.